Walmart is my favorite store. I shop there 'cause I am poor. Warning signs on slippery floors. A nice old lady at the door. Thinking of myself again. Wondering where I have been. When do boys turn into men? 'Cause I cry when I bruise my shin. The babe stops crying but will be okay. 'Cause I see another checking down on aisle 3. And I run yelling screaming, I got 50% off. And she says, hey man, I see you got a deal. You got a rollback special on a fishing reel. Now you've got yourself some extra cash. Go and buy some new dickies. If you're looking for something to eat, you don't even have to go across the street. A trip to Mickey D's, it can't be beat. And then buy some socks to put on your feet. The babe stops crying but it'll be okay. 'Cause I see another checking down on aisle 3. And I run yelling screaming, I got 50% off. And she says, hey man, I see you got a deal. You got a rollback special on a fishing reel. Now you've got yourself some extra cash to go and buy some new dickies. Babe stops crying but it'll be okay. 'Cause I see another checking down on aisle 3. And I run yelling screaming, I got 50% off. And she says, hey man, I see you got a deal. You got a rollback special on a fishing reel. Now you've got yourself some extra cash. Go and buy some new dickies. Walmart is my favorite store. I shop there 'cause I am poor. A nice old lady at the door. Warning signs on slippery floors.
Hey, you guys!
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? Ha, the only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
Good evening to one and all. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, and come on, let's be truthful, mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, the good stuff, well, you've come to the right place. So tonight, the topic du jour is Bigfoot. And for that very reason, I have asked a very special guest to join us for the live stream. So let me go ahead and bring on our guests. We had Mr. Dan.
Greetings from South Carolina.
How you doing, Dan?
How you doing, Dave? This is like the biggest honor in my life to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. So tickled to have you with us. We've also got Ian C. from Retro Serial. Welcome, Ian.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to see you.
Yeah, glad you moved the mic a little closer. That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. And we've got Robert Thrash Pondo Pons in the house as well. Welcome.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure as always.
It's great to have you here. And boy, does your audio sound good these days. I got to say, holy cow.
Yep.
Very nice. Well, guys, tonight we're talking about Bigfoot. I dropped a video on my channel yesterday with all sorts of Bigfoot memories. Hopefully folks have had a chance to watch that video. But now that I've welcomed you all here, let's see who is in the chat. So looks like we've got Dolph Quick. Welcome, Dolph. Kimberly Wiederhold. Welcome, Daryl Johnston. Superfan Elfdog 100, Superfan Tracy Roth Myers, Superfan Spike Spikerson, Superfan Superplex, Superfan Lance Chaffin. Did I say Spike Spikerson? Superfan Spike Spikerson. If I haven't, welcome. Crow-Minion's here. Great to have you here, Crow-Minion. He says, the Bigfoot episode of $6 Million Man scared me as a kid. I was only 5 or 6 when it came out. You know, as long as Crow-Minion's brought up the topic, is there anyone here who hasn't seen those episodes of the $6 Million Man?
No, I saw them.
I saw them, but it's been a while, so
Been a
my
while.
memory is going to be a little rusty. But I distinctly remember them, though.
Good. Did Bigfoot in the $6 Million Man scare you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah. No, I was frightened.
Yeah. How about you, Danny?
It didn't scare me because I'd had the actual privilege of seeing a real Bigfoot once, and that really scared me. So TV Bigfoots don't really scare me much.
TV Bigfoots are not scary once you've actually had the pleasure of being somewhat near a real Bigfoot, huh?
Very true.
Well, after we get done welcoming folks and I share survey results, I'd love to hear that story real quick. If are you able to share that story in a minute?
I'm able to do anything you want me to do, Dave. You're the boss.
Man, that'll be great. Okay. Let me keep going here, though. We have got, let's see who else is here. Jill Carter, Superfan Jill Carter, welcome. Good to have you with us. Superfan Justin, a.k.a. Braidwood Inn, welcome. And Tim the Enchanter is here. Let's see. Ed Myers is here. Dolph Quick is here. TJ921 Abel says, we'll be able to hang out with you for an hour. Well, we'll try to get to some of the trivia before you take off, TJ921 Abel, because always good to have folks participate in the trivia as much as possible. I am glad you like the Walmart song. That is a band called Old Man Johnson. There used to be, in the beginning, the very birth of the internet, there was a website called mp3.com. If you go to mp3.com nowadays, it's something. But it's not what it used to be. It used to be this amazing site where artists of all types, could upload their own music. And one of the bands that uploaded tunes there was called Old Man Johnson. And the Walmart song was a song I downloaded off of that website probably 20 plus years ago. And always have loved that song. So that's why it was our lead-in song for the day. Hungry Jerk, a.k.a. Tom, welcome. Dolph Quick, I think I've said hello, but hello again. Let's see. Oh, and Justin asks, when did Walmart ditch Subway for McDonald's? I guess they figured people who shop there don't care about their health. Is Subway all that more healthy? Maybe a little bit more.
My Walmart has a Subway.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's their exclusive one or the other. There definitely are more McDonald's in Walmarts now than Subways, but I've seen a handful of Subways in Walmart still, too.
The one on Cape Cod also Subway.
All the Walmarts here have Subways.
What's that, Danny?
All the Walmarts here have Subways and McDonald's somewhere off in the parking lot.
There you go. There you go. So Subway still has some sort of relationship with Walmart. Daryl Johnston's here. Todd McCreary is here. Says they took the Mickey D's out of their Walmart. That's too bad. Karen Lee Maloney is here. Welcome. Hello. Good to have you with us. Matt Sweeney's here. Left Albuquerque is here. And says the Bionic Woman crossover with the $6 Million Man, Stephanie Powers. They allude to these episodes in Behind the Camera special with Tricia Helfer as Farrah about 10 years ago. Interesting. I haven't seen that special. Definitely sounds like one that might be worth checking out. Jerry Gillespie's here. Says Cozy TV voted the second Marilyn on the Munsters as the best one. That's Pat Priest, right? It was the second Marilyn?
Ooh.
Got her. I think so.
That sounds right, but I'm drawing a blank now. But
yeah, let's see. Chromanian says we need a techno remix of the Walmart song. I'll have to reach out to those guys and see if they're still doing anything. And Superfan Elf Dog 100 says, has anyone ever figured out how many Bigfoot movies have been made? Oh, they number, if you count from the first Bigfoot movie, I think was in 1970. It was a horrible low budget movie. The first real, probably most well-known Bigfoot movie was The Legend of Boggy Creek, which we'll talk a little bit about. But since that time, I mean, every year a handful of Bigfoot movies come out. We'll talk about that in a minute, too. Let me make sure we've got everybody. Greg Mann's here. Superfan Emily Miller's here. Zuperplex is here. Al Duarte is here. Superfan John Collins is here. Terrell Bellinger is here. Dominic D is here. So good to have you with us. Kelly Savage is here. Steve Schwetman. Oh, good gravy. The list just goes on and on. Will McIntyre, Karen Lester, Robot B9, Tom Space, Rochelle B, the partly normal LMT, says they remember Bigfoot and Wild Boy and then the Bionic Man. We'll talk about both of those. Nick Mamonis is here. Freddie LQ67. I keep scrolling through. Superfan Lisa Fields is here. We've got a new member, a new superfan, Rochelle B, the partly normal. Thank you so much for being a member, a supporting member of the channel. Truly appreciated. Let me throw a little something your way. Let's do this one right here. Thank you so much, Rochelle B, the partly normal. Truly appreciate it. I really value
Rochelle.
Yes, I value your support tremendously. It's very kind of you. And Tom, Willie T's here. Kimberly Wiederhold is here. I saw another name here. Mal Havoc is here. Stu Sasser is here. All right. Let's just keep moving. I see a super chat coming in from John Collins. He says, I'm not a big Sasquatchian expert. I did, however, watch the USA television program Beauty and the Beast in the late 80s, early 90s. Does that count? Well, I don't think it counts as Bigfoot, but I do think it was an excellent show. Ron Perlman, Linda Hamilton from Terminator fame. Great show, and if you are a romantic at heart, certainly one that was worth watching. I only watched it the first season or two. It kind of was one. Sometimes I get excited about a show. We'll watch the first season or so, and then I kind of taper off sometimes. It's a rare show that can hold my attention for its entire run, and particularly, I believe, if I remember right, we lost Linda Hamilton in the final season of that show, and it wasn't quite the show that it once was, but it was a good show nonetheless. And so we'll say it partially counts, even though there truly was no Bigfoot. There was a beast there. That's for sure. Thank you for the support, John Collins. As always, let me throw a little yeehaw your way, followed by a little Gomer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your support, John. As always, it's great to have supporting members such as yourself. Truly appreciate it. Paul Rotter's here. We've got another super chat I need to get to real quick. It's from Tracy Rothmeyers, who says that she enjoys the live stream so much. Well, thank you, Tracy. Very kind of you. And we enjoy having you as part of our community and your engagement with us. I'll throw a little Steve Martin your way and maybe a little Spider-Man.
And now it's time for a little dance. And here we go.
Someone is trying to embarrass me.
All right. Thanks again, Tracy. Another very active member of this community. I know that she's an active member of your community as well, Ian. Is that correct?
Yeah. She's there pretty much every week. It's awesome. A lot of these people are John Collins is and Tracy Rothmeyers and many others. Sorry if I forget your names, but
Dan is.
Yeah, Danny is.
Yeah,
for sure.
Danny is. Yeah, he stops in when I guess. I know that it's his night to watch wrestling. But we always appreciate it when he drops by. It's much appreciated. Mr. 79 man. Yeah, he's there quite a bit. Yeah, I have a lot of crossover. We have a lot of crossover. Thanks to you, Dave, honestly, for having me on your show and getting the word out about my channel. Really appreciate it.
Well, loved
the Dave effect.
Yeah, loved your latest video. The Pac-Man video was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I hope you liked it.
If folks haven't gone and seen it, I think I posted it to the community page today for folks to go and click on. But well done, well researched. Danny, your latest video, the one I've watched at least latest was the Vault of Evil, or what was that Marvel comic, 74?
Vault of Evil.
Yeah, Vault of Evil. That was excellent.
That was excellent. Yeah, I loved it too, Danny.
What was the comic book? It wasn't Vault of Evil. Was it one of the Dark Shadows ones? I can't remember, where there was a 16-page toy catalog in the middle of it. You had me rolling, dude. You had me rolling in that. What was that?
It was the Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows. Oh yeah, that was a hilarious comic book review. Loved it.
Those videos, Danny, are so funny. Like seriously, I love how you go through the pages and just talk about it and riff on it. It gets me laughing too, especially when you get to the ads. Like the ads are the best because we don't think of those ads anymore. The Vicon era.
Well, I actually remember ordering some of that stuff, so I'm not joking. Back in the day.
Yeah. Really? That's cool. I never
ordered it. I wanted to order that stuff, but I never ordered it. That would require asking my parents for money.
I ordered something out of one of those thinking I could get away with going to a bar early. I ordered some of those ID cards one time, and it just because it doesn't really tell you like what you're getting. It just says ID card, be however old you want to be. And I ordered one, and it just basically is a thing where you put your own picture in and write your name, and then you have to go down and get it laminated. There's nothing to it. That's great.
You get the really good one. It comes with this little plastic thing that seals around it.
Yeah.
You can laminate it yourself.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever order those sea monkeys that were always in the back of the comic books?
Yes, some people did.
I bought mine at a supermarket, and they still died.
Really?
Yeah,
and
they had like a novelty section.
Really bad.
Yeah.
They smell really bad.
They're brine shrimp.
And was that what they were? Were brine shrimp?
They were brine shrimp.
Yeah.
And they died no matter how much you nurtured them.
Yeah. Well, Rochelle B, the Partly Normal LMT, says, I can't believe I didn't know you had membership. Yep. Definitely do. It's a couple bucks a month. You can just click on any of the videos below that. There's a join button. Typically what that gives you is, I'm not going to say every time. Sometimes I drop a video and I don't provide a preview period for members, but 50% of the time members will see a video a day or so ahead of time, and it's really a valuable service to me because sometimes those channel members will see something that needs to be corrected, and I can go in and fix it before it actually hits everybody, hits the general public. So I appreciate that. The other thing that well, it's just you get my love and affection. I truly appreciate those folks that support. There are other perks that come along with membership, but thanks so much. Robot B9 says that Linda Hamilton's character was killed off in the 3rd season. Yeah, I remembered something like that. It's been a long time.
You can't even have that show without, it's Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell Robot B9 that was talking about the Space Family Robinson comic books.
Yeah.
And you can actually see reviews for some of them comic books here in my playlist. They're hanging right above my head.
Yeah, there's Danny's comic book reviews are extensive at this point. Some of my favorites, of course, are I think you've done a couple on the Munsters, right?
Yeah, 2.
And there's always some verbal disappointment at the fact that they're black and white on the inside.
That's any black and white comic book.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I'd say, folks, check out Danny's website. He's here tonight, specially invited because of his expertise in the field of Bigfoot. You'll see there's a number of videos where Danny goes out and he gets reports from friends and family. He has some connections and goes out there and goes where we won't go in hopes of seeing the almighty Sass. And they're a lot of fun too, but I got to tell you, I have a soft spot for your comic book reviews, my friend. Hey, Lance Chaffin says, Dave, you forgot my super chat for 4 months. How could I do that for 4 months? That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, thank you so much for your super chat. And let me throw a little love your way, courtesy of, well, the King of Rock.
Thank you very much. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much, Superfan Lance Chaffin.
I'm wearing the Pat McCormick shirt tonight. Every time you do that, I expect Lawrence Welk.
Pat's not here tonight. That's kind of a bummer. We can't bug him with the Lawrence Welk, but we can still play it later on, perhaps. I love that T-shirt, by the way. I don't know. Does Pat have I don't think he has a link to buy T-shirts on his site. I think he just from time to time sends them out. Is that correct?
I don't know. I've never seen where you can buy nothing on his website or on his channel.
Yeah. He needs to do that. That's a good looking shirt.
An autographed picture.
Yeah. He needs to put a link so that folks can go out and support him. That's a dang good looking shirt. As long as
he told me earlier he was going out to dinner and a movie tonight and he wouldn't be on, so I figured I'd wear a shirt, support him a little bit.
That's right. He's here in spirit, courtesy of the shirt. As long as we're talking shirts, mine's a boring black shirt with nothing on it. But let's talk about T-shirts for a minute there. Robert, what do you got? What are you wearing?
This is from the Game of Thrones ensemble. It's
nice.
it's actually a saying from one of my favorite characters, Tyler Lannister, who was a dwarf who was very intelligent, very cagey, and an alcoholic. And his catchphrase is, "I drink and I know things." And if there's one statement which sums me up all together, it's "I drink and I know things." Although white cranberry juice tonight, but I have been known to have the occasional beer when I'm not on your show, Dave.
Staying sharp for us tonight. Thanks, Robert.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
But I still know things.
How about you, Ian? I see you're wearing something too. What do you got on?
It says the Sermonator.
The Sermonator, and I understand the story behind that one. Very nicely done.
Sermonator.
Yeah,
so this is a gift from my congregation or something.
That is phenomenal. For folks that don't know, I know you don't talk a lot about that stuff, but you know, Ian's is known on Sundays to be delivering the word, right?
Yes, yeah, most Sundays we have a small, just kind of a family church. We have just a couple families that come, and we, and I do the sermons and somebody does the music, and it's pretty small. It's not, I when I was younger, I really wanted to be a pastor professionally, and that kind of fell apart for a few years, and I was out of the ministry for like a good 10 years. And then somebody but I went all the way through school to be a pastor. I got my doctorate of ministry and everything. And a couple families came to me and asked if it was kind of the right timing. So I said, okay. I said, if you'll do the music, I'll show up and preach. So that's kind of what we do on Sunday.
That's awesome. If I'm ever in your neck of the woods on a Sunday, I hope you don't mind if I pop in and participate. I'd love to listen to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'd love,
That'd be great. Hey, Tom says, Dave, get a P.O. box. I got stuff I want to send you. Guess what? I am working on that. I have actually filled out the forms and should have a P.O. box in a week or so. So that folks that send me things, hey, you send me stuff, I'm probably not returning them, but I might give them away as gifts to some other people in the community afterwards. But what would be fun would definitely be to review some of those things that come my way. So I will be encouraging that, and more info to come on that. And thanks, Tom. I know you've asked me a handful of times about that, and I haven't always been good about responding about that. So thank you. Lance Chafin threw a super sticker our way. Super fan Lance Chafin. Let me throw a little more visual love your way. Got to go Grimly.
I love that.
I love that. Yeah, I do too. Good old Ed Grimley, one of my favorites. Big fan of Martin Short. Terrell Bellinger, I think I mentioned, is in the house. He says, I remember season 1 episode of The Simpsons where they went camping. Homer and Bart became stranded in the flesh, and people mistook Homer for Bigfoot. I vaguely remember an episode like that as well. Simpsons, those early seasons were some of the best television out there. It's amazing that it's still going strong after 30 plus years. There was Tom says, don't ignore my question. Hopefully that was the question you were hoping that I would answer, but I'm going to tell you guys, with as much going on in the chat, I simply can't see it all.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to have a dedicated moderator. Ian does a great thing on his Monday chats, and that he has Thrash, Robert there, kind of just watching that thing like a hawk, but I don't have anyone doing that here. So,
well, even that, I mean, it's difficult. I actually don't have him watching. I just have him reading it because I'm such a poor reader. But I know.
Don't correct Dave.
It's enough. I mean, it's hard to stay actually engaged in the conversation and try to read, comments on the side. So I always tell people, look, I'm sorry, I didn't, if I miss it, it's just it's super difficult to kind of do both.
Super is. It's really hard. And especially if you're running the live stream the way, I'm not trying to get anyone to feel bad for me or anything, but if you're running the live stream, you're clicking on a lot of buttons at the same time, trying to, whether it's playing a video or showing an image on the screen or trying to highlight a comment on the screen. And so things just kind of fly by you. So hopefully I caught it, Tom. If not, well, forgive me, my friend. So Zupaplex said something that is exactly what I was planning on doing. So he says, Dave should ask the panel whether they believe in Bigfoot. I will do that in just 1 second. I do have another super chat from our friend John Collins. Let me quickly go to that, and then I will ask you that very question. Let's see. Okay, well, this isn't the super chat from John, but I'm going to throw it on here anyway. He says, can I ask Thrash Pondo a question? In his last video, he mentioned, welcome to my new channel. Is it new? Go ahead, Robert. You want to answer that?
Yes, please. Long story short, when I first set up my channel on my cell phone, what I had done was I had tried to log into my existing channel and inadvertently created a new one. Only I have problems like this. I don't know. So I've had 2 parallel channels. A personal channel, which I usually use to watch videos and comment, and my other video channel, which I do all my postings with. Now, since I make a lot of my comments on the old channel, people were sometimes subscribing to that. and in doing so, going to a channel with no content. So I decided the best thing to do was put content on it. And I put a video on this channel saying, hi, guys, thanks for joining, but you're on the wrong channel. Go join the other one. Then you'll see some good stuff. And it seems to have helped. A bunch of people have actually gone from the non-content channel to the one with my content on it. So, hey.
Awesome. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Here's the super chat from John Collins. He says, does Pat have a buy me a cup of coffee option connected with his channel? On Thrash Pondo's last video, he mentions, welcome to my new channel. Is it new? So you've answered that part of the question. I don't think Pat does have a buy me a cup of coffee option on his channel. You know, he's still exploring different ways to, get that kind of revenue support that is really kind of critical for YouTube creators. But at this point, he hasn't, I don't think, set anything else up on that, like that up. The best thing you can do to support Pat right now is watch his videos. He's at a point where he has over 1,000 subscribers, which means he's close to being able to monetize and be able to participate as a YouTube partner. And, but he doesn't have the necessary hours to at least he hasn't. So, you watch his videos through from the beginning to the very end, you're helping him that way. And I would really encourage everybody, his videos are just so well done that I would encourage everybody to do that. John, thank you again for the support. And let me throw a little love your way. Let's go with Adam West.
Thank you. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, John Collins. Truly appreciated. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down first. Go this way. I'm going to go to Robert. And then we're going to go over to Ian. Over there. I can't. I'm done. Okay.
That was easy for me. That's just these straight.
There we go. That way. Then we're going to go that way at the end. And Danny, I think I know the answer to this question for you, but if you want to share a story, particularly the story perhaps you alluded to when it comes to you, love to hear it. Love to hear it. So anyway, Robert, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Well, I'm a child at heart, and us children at heart like to believe in things like Santa and the Easter Bunny and Sasquatch. And though I've never seen one, I've never really been to the Pacific Northwest, I like to believe there is a Sasquatch. So count me down as a big yes.
Ian.
How could you not? He was on the $6 Million Man. I mean,
yeah, but
proof.
come on, we're talking that's pretend, that's bionic Bigfoot, real Sasquatch. Do you believe in a real one?
Well, I don't want to offend anybody, but let me do a cautious yes. A cautious yes.
Okay.
I definitely yeah, it's a cautious yes.
Okay, a cautious.
I'm not 100% sold, but I absolutely do not rule it out whatsoever.
Here's what I say about all these survey questions. You can change your mind tomorrow. No one's holding us contractually to our answers. Danny, you're up.
I do like watching this stuff, though. That does interest me. I do enjoy watching Bigfoot hunters and things like that. I listen to them talk and things of that nature. So I'm open to the idea. Let's put it that way.
Okay. You're up, Danny.
You see, I can't be like people who say, I believe in Bigfoot or I don't believe in Bigfoot. See, because I know they exist because I have seen them. And that puts you on a whole new level. Once you see something and know that it's real, you can't be a maybe I believe, maybe I don't kind of guy. You got to be I know they're real kind of guy. It changes your perspective. I also want to point out this book, Sasquatch, by Jeff Meldrum. And it's Sasquatch, Legend Meets Science. If you check out this book, it might change your opinion about Bigfoot. There's some deep scientific facts in there about the creature.
Love it. You've teased us enough about this early childhood experience where you saw Bigfoot. Tell us more.
I'm not going to drag it out for an hour telling you a story. I'll try to make it a brief one. But in 1976, and I can be specific, July 4th week, 1976, that big bicentennial week where everybody was hanging up and waving flags. And my mama bought me a shirt that had them people coming down the road playing the drums and blowing the pipe and all that stuff, right? And it was like the biggest July 4th thing ever. I got a brand new camera that week. And I decided, because my mom's a photographer, that I'm going to be a photographer too and go out and do some nature photography. So I took my little camera and I went out through the woods shooting pictures of birds, shooting pictures of trees and lakes and stuff. And way down in the woods, this 11-year-old boy by himself come up on a hill down a creek bed, and I heard something strange, a grunting sound like, And now years later, I put it in the same boat as something a great ape would make, like you see at the zoo. And as I come through this clearing and looked up on a hill, about 60 yards away, 55, 60 yards away, was a giant, hairy creature. Best thing I can probably describe it as would be like a giant gorilla with a more humanish face. I was close enough to get a really, really good look at it. And right when I noticed it, being the dumbass I am, being the kind of guy I am, I raised my camera and clicked. I raised my camera and pointed it at it and clicked. And the flash went off. And when the flash went off, it angered whatever it was, and it come down the hill growling and grunting and knocking down trees. And I was 11 years old. I ran like a scared little sissy. I ran all the way home crying.
So it didn't run away. It ran at you. It came after you.
It literally chased me 100 yards through the woods. But I think if it wanted to catch me, it could. I think it was just being mean and scaring a kid and enjoying it. Making sure I didn't come back to his woods.
That's awesome. And thank you for telling that story. It served two purposes. One, it's perfect lead into survey results. Two, we had a spammer in the chat there that gave me time to go in there and quickly block that spammer. So thanks, folks, for those folks that told me immediately about the spammer. Truly, truly appreciate it. So let's share survey results. So I haven't answered whether I believe in Bigfoot or not. I've never had that kind of experience, the Danny Staton experience, but I do believe, and for no other reason than it's more fun to believe in Bigfoot than not believe in Bigfoot. So that's my canned answer. But I do believe. I think that there's something out there, even though, it's been hard to get the darn critter on film too much.
I have a question for Danny. I was just wondering, what do you believe that it's like just like a North American ape that has not yet been discovered, or do you believe that? I know there's a few different theories. There's one theory that this is I'm sure you've heard all of this. So one theory, the probably most popular one, is that it's a North American ape that just has not yet been discovered yet, and then is smart enough to elude everything. The other theory is that it is the offspring of King Nebuchadnezzar, when God turned Nebuchadnezzar into a wild animal, and that he actually had offspring during that time, and that offspring kind of remember that in the book of Daniel. I don't know if you remember that in the book of Daniel, but in the book of Daniel, familiar with it.
My dad was a preacher.
Yeah, he turned. Nebuchadnezzar was proud, and God said, "I'm going to turn you into a beast," and he turned him into a beast for 7 years. And there's a theory that is where Sasquatch comes from. And then there's another theory that basically it's like a demonic kind of entity, like it shows up. Like it's an emanation of a demonic type of being. Like when it shows up on the earth, it takes this kind of form. And I was just curious, have you come down on a side on that yet, or no?
I've always been under the impression that it was just basically a undiscovered humanoid, basically what you said, an undiscovered North American ape.
Yeah.
Because you have them all over the world. You have sightings even in Japan of something similar. You have the Yeti in Tibet, something similar. In South America, you got a paintu or whatever you call it. That's something similar. And I could go through this book right here, cryptids A to Z, and come up with 25 different names for the same creature. And they're all big, hairy creatures that live in the woods. Even in Vietnam, you get that. But over the years now, I've come to realize that there's something more than just a natural creature, because there's too much other stuff that's been seen and been heard and been reported that goes along with different theories. The one I hate the most that I hear a lot is Bigfoot being seen coming out of UFOs. And that's come up quite a bit lately.
Oh, really?
In the Bigfoot community, people talk about that. I'm trying to think what would be the best way to put this. I don't know how familiar nobody is with Hindu text or Mahabharata or stuff like that.
I read the Mahabharata.
You know what I'm talking about?
The Mahabharata. When I was in college, I read it many years ago.
Even as far back as the ancient Indian text, they talk about hairy creatures than that. Well, and a lot of their gods are subscribed to being crosses between humans and animals, the deities. In ancient Egypt, a lot of their gods are crosses between animals and humans, hairy creatures, so to speak. Seth and Anubis both.
In the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the oldest still existing source of literature from Western civilization, Gilgamesh's best friend, who I'm going to butcher his name, Enkidu. Enkidu is a hairy... You were? I didn't mean to step on your toes, but he's a hairy wild man.
I was fixing to bring that up, and that goes back to the Anunnaki beliefs. You might want to reference some books by Zachariah Sitchin.
Really?
And this guy, he wrote a lot of books about this, and in his books, where he deciphered these Sumerian tablets and stuff, his translations talk about the Enkidu, this hairy creature that did the labor for the Anunnaki gods. And a lot of people believe that when the Anunnaki left, they left their hairy creature laborers on the planet, and they scattered out just like tribes of people did all across the world.
So it's some kind of hybrid, maybe? An alien hybrid?
Do you follow the Ancient Aliens TV show?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the belief in that area, and I'm not sure I believe that myself, but the belief in that area is these ancient aliens come here and they made us like we are, and they made people, and they made the Enkidus to do most of the big heavy labor, like build the pyramids and stuff. And when they left, these creatures were still here, and they're genetic experiments that are still around, like humans.
Mm-hmm. Have you read any of Michael Heiser's work?
Very little, but I know who he is.
Yeah, he does some of that too, where he talks about some of that stuff. He has a book called Unseen Realm, and it touches on some of those things.
He also talks about mind speak and hanging out with Bigfoot and building fires and singing Kumbaya. And
I don't think that's the same person. I think that's maybe it's a different Michael Heiser. It could be.
Let's quickly answer a question here from Tracy Roth Myers, and I think I know the answer to this, but I will yield to the experts here. I'll give my answer, and then if it's different, let me know. Tracy Roth Myers, superfan Tracy Roth Myers, asked, "What's the difference between a Sasquatch and a Yeti?" My thinking was they're probably very similar, but region. But I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I have no idea. This is all Danny. This would be right up Danny's aisle there.
Do you have an opinion, Danny?
Well, supposedly they're supposed to be very similar to being the same creature, except for the Yeti's a lot smaller version. Okay. I guess because it lives in the Himalayan and the higher atmospheres, it wouldn't grow as big as a giant ape from Canada or Washington.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thrash, you read anything about that?
Just that the Yeti is a Himalayan creature,
right.
So it's really geography, and I like the idea that because it's in the higher altitudes, it couldn't grow to the comparable size.
We've actually got a little bit of evidence pointing that way towards sizes, because lots of reports that come in from the Great Northwest, up like Oregon and Washington, and up into Canada and Saskatchewan, you hear about 11.5, 12-foot giant Bigfoot. Down around Long Island, New York, this guy called Long Island Bigfoot, he's been reporting 8 and 7.5 foot Bigfoots, and he's actually caught some stuff on video that's very interesting. And then you got the people in Virginia with the 7.5, 8 foot Bigfoots. Here in South Carolina, what I saw back in the day was a good 8 foot tall. And recently in July, I saw something else that was even bigger, maybe 9 foot. But when you get down to Florida, they have this thing called a skunk ape, which is basically a smaller version of Bigfoot, and it's 5.5 to 6 foot tall. And as you go further south, the smaller it gets.
It's funny you mentioned the Northeast, because when I was a kid, I grew up on Cape Cod. There was a campfire story about, it wasn't particularly big, but it was hairy and had very long arms. In fact, it was colloquially known as the bacon stretcher. It never attacked people, but it would go after things like pigs or dogs, chickens, that type of thing. And you could tell it attacked it because it would kind of go with its prey and stretch it out like bacon. So we termed it the bacon stretcher. But that goes back, that's got to be 40, 50 years ago. We had that legend.
It goes 1948, I believe.
That far back?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I wasn't around then, so I heard it later.
Well, you got to remember that the Native Americans have been talking about these creatures since the 16th and 1700s, when Americans and when people from Europe first came here. It was some of the first stories they heard were about the Sasquatch and the hairy man tribes that live in the woods. Vikings reported fighting giant hairy creatures when they first arrived here, and the natives have had legends of fighting giants here way before Europeans ever come.
So we're getting Justin asking what the results of the poll were.
Yes, the poll.
So 100, yeah, good conversation. Exactly what I was hoping we would have. And we're getting some feedback from community members that they love it so far. So that's great. But let's get to the poll results real quick. It's 100% believers among the four of us. But if you survey the community at large, there's more non-believers than believers. The question was, do you believe Bigfoot is real? 2,100 people answered the question, and only 42% of community members do believe that there is such a feller as Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
That's great, because 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it'd have been 25%.
Yeah, there you go. We're making progress. Thanks for reeling us back in, Justin. Appreciate that. Let's do a couple of things. First off, I want to go around the horn. And I would love to see this in the comment section too, in the chat. I'm going to ask you guys what your favorite version of Bigfoot in TV or movies is. I think we all have favorites. And then we'll share some of these that as they come in. I'll just flash them on the screen as we're talking. We'll start this time, go the other direction. So Danny, do you have a favorite Bigfoot movie or a TV show with Bigfoot in it? The Legend of Boggy Creek. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop right here.
The most realistic and my all-time favorite.
Right. I played the trailer at the beginning. I'm going to play it one more time for folks here, and then let's talk a little bit about that before we go to the other, to Ian and
let's talk about the fact that it's based on true stories.
Right. Exactly. Let me pull that up. Let me see if I can find that trailer real quick again. Here we go. Danny, did you see this? Did your old man, like my old man, take you to the theater to see this, or did you see it later on?
My family loved the movies, and every Saturday night we went to the theater to see something. I got drugged to see that in the theater when I was very young. I got drugged to see The Exorcist when I was even very young.
That's too funny.
Yikes.
And so this movie, what is it about this movie that makes it your favorite version of Bigfoot?
It's because it's based on actual events, and it's not just something that people made up and fantasized about. Almost everybody you see in that movie are real people telling real stories, and the reenactments are very seriously done. They're not joke reenactments. They bring the realism of what you're dealing with right up to you.
Love it. Love it. Ian, your turn. Favorite movie or TV Bigfoot?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's such a cultural phenomenon. It's in so many things that you love. I mean, I would have to say that that it competes. Even, I mean, it even goes down to even commercials, where you have the messing with Sasquatch commercial. I think those are hilarious commercials. I mean, as far as like, it's a toss up between $6 Million Man and Harry and the Hendersons. I think people who are really into Bigfoot might not like Harry and the Hendersons because it's a little kind of cheesy, lighthearted kind of thing. But as far as a family movie is concerned, it was a good show. It was a good
Hey,
show.
let me ask you a question real quick. Did anybody know that there was a Harry and the Hendersons TV series that come out? A 30-minute sitcom?
Yeah.
I never knew this till yesterday. And I discovered the show and been watching it, and it's really horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. I talked about it in my video that I did a day or two ago, but I was going to include a clip from it, and it's just so bad. I didn't even bother including a clip.
That's really where I heard it at. I said, let me check this out. And I went and found episodes of it and started watching it and cried.
Yeah. Someone in the comment section of my video said that it was so bad that it actually retroactively made the movie worse. and maybe it does. Maybe it taints the memory of the movie just a little bit, but I did enjoy the movie too, Ian. On a different level, obviously, than like Legend of Boggy Creek, which scared the bejesus out of me when I was a kid. The old man took us to that one, and probably the one that scared me the most was a few years later, Danny. I don't know if you remember Sasquatch, but oh man, that one was a pseudo documentary. They all kind of were like pseudo documentaries based on true stories, and that feeling that it was real. Really, it almost has later on. Blair Witch kind of did the same thing. It almost has this like. You feel like you're really watching something, even though you know that they're reenactments.
What was the name of that? What was the name of that? It was like the early 2000s or mid 2000s comedy about a Bigfoot hunter. Do you remember that one? It was.
There's been a number of them.
It may have been like a little insulting because they accidentally shoot Bigfoot, and then they make it look like Bigfoot killed himself because he was lonely.
I missed this one.
Yeah, I missed that one as well.
But now I want to see it really bad.
I'm trying to think of who was in it. There's a couple of people who are kind of famous who are in it. Oh, well. Somebody might have to.
What? Someone might know it in the community. Let's see if someone pops in there here with it.
Yeah, they shot it up with a machine gun, and then they wrote a suicide note because Bigfoot was
Bigfoot wrote suicide notes.
Was this a TV movie or a feature film?
No, it was a movie. It might have been straight to DVD, but I can't remember it. But the guy was trying to be a little bit like the Crocodile Hunter too. And so, it was kind of a parody of the Crocodile Hunter as well, but they didn't have a big budget, and they were trying to the movie was about trying to make a movie, and he would get like next to a spider and go, now this spider here, because they didn't have any material. So, but they were Bigfoot hunters as well. And they actually did find Bigfoot at the end, but they shot him with a machine gun. So, I don't know. It is a movie. I did see it, but I can't remember the name of it.
I don't see anything in the chat so far that might be an answer yet. Yes. Lots of great conversation though. Robert, favorite version of Bigfoot?
For feature film, I went with The Creature from Black Lake with Dub Taylor and Jack Elam.
Oh, yes.
I saw that when I was a kid, and I still love it to this day. Right down to the fact the sheriff's name is Sheriff Billy Carter.
That's right.
And that was for his TV appearances. I went with a couple of documentaries. Mr. Leonard Nimoy's version of The In Search Of. And I'm going to get the name wrong. I apologize if I do, but it was a couple of years before that. There was a Rod Serling narrated special. I believe it was called Monsters, Myths, or Mysteries, something like that. And
exactly.
it was one of the first times I heard Bigfoot referenced. So I'm going to go with those two for TV appearances.
And by the way, both of them are on YouTube if anybody wants to watch them.
You know what? YouTube is a powerful, magical thing. You know, it's amazing. You know, it's not everything is out there, obviously, but it's amazing what is out there, particularly if you're going back 20, 30 years. Most folks have posted a lot of stuff out there, and it's just I look at it as a time machine. It's a great way to go back in time.
I found the movie here. It's called Strange Wilderness. People are like, yes, Daryl Johnston is saying, WTF, Ian. So, yeah, it's called Strange Wilderness, and it has Justin Long in it and Jonah Hill. So, yeah. I only saw it one time. It was on like really late or whatever. So,
I get the feeling sounds enough.
So I'm going to go with the obvious answer for me is Bigfoot, bionic Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man. Obviously not a, it's a fantastical interpretation of Bigfoot and not one that probably has any grounding in, we're talking about Bigfoot, so I'm going to say this with quotations, but any grounding in reality. But it is a lot of fun. And for me, it was the first time that I'd seen Bigfoot portrayed as something other than the scariest thing out there. And I loved that. And it was great that Bigfoot ended up being kind of a good guy. And from that point on, it was just fun to think that he was on our side. He was out there. And then later on, the Croft brothers did and it's been mentioned a few times in the chat, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, where Bigfoot literally became a superhero. And
in my brain, Bigfoot and Wild Boy come out first.
No. $6 Million Man. Well, you know what? I'm going to double check that because 77 was Bigfoot and Wild Boy on the Croft Super Show. I think the appearance on $6 Million Man was 76, but
I remember it seems like I seen Bigfoot and Wild Boy like a long time before I saw the $6 Million Man.
In Land of the Lost, wasn't one episode? Didn't they stumble upon some type of 8-man in one of the Land of the Lost episodes?
And every episode they had a little Chaka thing.
Oh, not Chaka, but an actual like Bigfoot,
like a larger,
really big, yeah.
Chaka's dad. Come on.
Could have been all right. We'll go with that. That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So here's a question though, interesting regarding bionic Bigfoot was, and someone else made this observation in the comments section of my video. Do you feel like that was a jump the shark moment for the $6 Million Man? Any of you that were alive and watching the show back then?
I wouldn't say jumping the shark. It was certainly a cash grab. It's like because Bigfoot was becoming really big in that, was it like 76 around that time frame?
Yeah.
So that was when Bigfoot was reaching Bigfoot status, and I think a lot of shows were trying to capitalize on it. $6 Million Man being one of them. He also did episodes on the Bermuda Triangle and aliens. So he was trying to tie in with a lot of, shall we say, paranormal or unexplainable things that were being really, really popular in that time frame.
Awesome. Great observation. Let's do this. We're already an hour and we haven't done any trivia. So
we're having so much fun.
I know it's been great conversation so far. Let's pay the bills with some commercial sponsors. We'll go back to 1979, 1980 for these commercial sponsors, and then we'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll do a little Bigfoot trivia. Who knows what else we might do, but let's go ahead and do that.
Now, this camera isn't just for anybody, but you and I know you should have it. Now, what if I got Polaroid to give you $10 just for buying it? Come on now, this is the SX70 Sonar, the world's finest instant camera. Single lens reflex, automatic focus. Okay, for you we'll make it 20, but keep it quiet. Or if you buy the Pronto Sonar, you get $10. You want $5? Buy the one step. Just do it by June 30th and we'll send you the money.
Mr. Wonderful.
You want to push some hot buttons? KSCS
96.3. Continuous country favorites. Now with news, weather, and traffic information. Talk about pushing the right button. Whew. KSCS 96.3. I was with a man once who wouldn't let me set his radio in KSCS 96.3 because his buttons were already set. Forget his name. The original and still the best. 96.3. Right on the button.
We're here with Bigfoot for Chrysler Plymouth's Bigfoot for Free minivan sale. Get it? Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Anyway, for the low price of a standard Voyager, you get a Grand Voyager over a foot longer. It's like a Bigfoot for free. You can save on every minivan up to $2,150, but hurry, this won't last. Get your Bigfoot for free at Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Bigfoot himself is not included, unless he wants to be.
Jerry Lewis sings the 7-Eleven coffee song.
I brew the coffee constantly. I keep it fresher than it has to be. Brew the coffee constantly. Keeps it fresher than it has to be. I brew fresh coffee night and day. At 7-Eleven is the only way. A special blend so fresh and hot. Thank heaven for this coffee pot. A special blend so fresh and hot. Thank heaven for this coffee pot.
All right. Terrell says he's ready for trivia, guys. Ready for some trivia.
I laughed so hard I cried.
Does anybody remember that actress that was doing the radio thing there?
In here.
Yeah, Deborah Shelton. She was on Dallas, and she would do radio spots like that across the nation. So no matter where you were, she was. Yeah, it probably was some like big radio company that had stations all over the nation, but you can go on YouTube and you can see her pitching, doing basically the same script for multiple radio stations throughout the nation. But I look at that as early ASMR, just the voice and the way that was handled. Very interesting. And the Bigfoot commercial there. It reminded me that there was a question in the chat earlier about if any of us ever had a Bigfoot costume or dressed up as Bigfoot for Halloween. Anyone ever do that? No.
I wore a size 13 shoe, but I never dressed as Bigfoot.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
Did you hear the Bigfoot joke though? Your mom, it's a your mama joke.
You haven't heard the Bigfoot your mama joke.
It's your mama's so hairy that Bigfoot was taking pictures of her.
Oh.
All right. That one bombed. That one did.
Leave the dad jokes to me there, Ian.
I was going to say
I tried. What was a yawner? Yeah,
that might end up showing up in one of Robert's videos later on. Who knows?
Just might. It just might.
Yep. All right, let's do this. We're an hour and 4 minutes in, and let's go ahead and do a little Bigfoot trivia. Question 1. On which TV show did Bigfoot not make an appearance? Your choices are, and don't, we'll let everybody answer in the chat or just kind of answer in their heads, and then we'll kind of work this out as a group here. So let's hold off on answering it. But the question is, on which TV show did Bigfoot not make an appearance? Was it The Bionic Woman, ISIS, Shazam, or The $6 Million Man? All right, we're getting lots of great answers. It's a mixed bag. It truly is a mixed bag. Sometimes it's pretty obvious which one it is when you look in the chat, but not this time.
No, I got this one.
TJ921, Abel, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Good to have you with us for the first hour of the live stream tonight. Have a great night. God bless you as well. All right, Danny, you say you know the answer to this one? I'm
pretty sure 99%.
Okay, let's hear it.
Shazam.
You are 99% correct. Yes, Shazam is the correct answer.
Because I remember it being Bigfoot from the other three.
Right. Yeah. we had Bionic Bigfoot on $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman, and then on ISIS, Bigfoot was really just a big hairy dude, but it definitely counts as Bigfoot given the overall episode and the just the story itself. All right, let's keep moving. Question number 2. After question number 3, we'll check scores real quick. What Star Trek actor hosted a TV show that went in search of Bigfoot? We'll let folks answer this one. Well, this one's almost like the middle spot in bingo that's free. It's pretty easy. This one's pretty darn easy. So we'll give folks about 5 more seconds, and then I'll throw the easy one Ian's way. You can thank me. You can thank me later. You can thank me later, Ian. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is the correct answer?
Leonard Nimoy for the win.
Nicely done.
I want partial credit because I kind of gave it away earlier in the chat.
You did, and that's what I love about the conversation is folks listen. They typically get an answer or two to the trivia. So nicely done. Thank you for helping out, Rob.
Hey, let me point this out that William Shatner does a show called The Unexplained now, and they covering stuff like Bigfoot and the Bermuda Triangle and stuff. And William Shatner might have been a good answer.
Might have been a good answer. Hey, do you know what channel that's on, Danny?
History Channel.
History Channel. Okay, thank you. That's a good one. Sounds like one worth checking out. Question: what was the rating for this one of the scariest movies ever, The Legend of Boggy Creek? Was it G, PG, PG-13, or R?
Oh, I cheated.
And I'm going to throw this your way, Thrash Pondo, in about 10 seconds. We'll just kind of lots of great answers here on this one. I love it when there's a mix. That means the question was a good one.
Well, if you see, and that was people who wasn't paying attention earlier.
That's right, because they posted the rating right at the end of the trailer, didn't they, Danny?
They sure did.
Were looking.
Yep.
So we talked about it.
What's
I'm
the
going to
answer,
hazard a guess,
Rob? Okay, hazard a guess.
Rated G.
That is correct. A family film for all members of the family to enjoy. And as a matter of fact, we're going to stop right here. I think I uploaded the trailer to Return to Boggy Creek.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Starring Don Wells and Dana Plato, and I'm just going to show it to everybody. I love
the worst Bigfoot movie ever made.
I love that they once again were marketing this film as a family film. Definitely not as scary as the original, though. Here we go. Let's see if I got it. Yep.
Return to Boggy Creek.
What kind of crazy place is this? Does somebody live here? Yeah. The monster.
Over 15 million people thrilled to the legend of Boggy Creek. Now the monster returns to stalk the swamps and terrify the citizens in his own very special way.
The all-new Return to Boggy Creek, the family adventure picture of the year. Are you too scared to come back? Return to Boggy Creek.
I love that. The family adventure of the year. That's probably how they marketed the first one as well. Let's see scores real quick. Let me quickly get in here and see how folks are doing. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up because it looks like people started putting in their scores early. Ken Wilkinson's 3 of 3. Rob Aiken's 3 of 3. Elf Dog 100's 3 of 3. Come on, I made this harder than that. Superplex is 3 of 3. Superfan Emily Miller is 3 of 3. I should have said Superfan Superplex and Superfan Elf Dog 100. Superfan Tracy Roth Myers 3 of 3. Lamont Bradford 2 of 3. Steve Sweatman 3 of 3. Terrell Bellinger 2 of 3. Superfan Jill Carter 3 of 3. Kimberly Wiederhall 3 of 3. Tim the Enchanter 1 of 3. John Ogren 3 of 3. Dolph Quick 3 of 3. Where's some more scores? Come on, people. Superfan Elf Dog 100, 3 of 3. Rich Atwood, 2 of 3. Superfan Georgia Ayers, 1 of 3. Superfan James Mitchell, 2 of 3. Superfan John Collins, 2 of 3. Star Swake is just starting with us. Steve Sweatman is 3 of 3. Karen Lester, 2 of 3. Robot B9, 3 of 3. And Mal Havoc says, dude, these are easy so far. You could more hurtful words be said. Man known only as Jeff is 2 of 3. McGanahan Sky Jelly Fetty says, hi, Uncle Dave. Sorry I'm late. We are 3 questions in, so that means you got 7 questions to answer with us. Good to have you here. Superfan Lisa Fields, 3 of 3. And Zuperplex is saying that they will get harder. I hope they do. Let's see what happens here. Go ahead and move on to question number 4. On the $6 million man, what was Bigfoot's secret? Was he a time traveler? Was he dying? Was he not from this earth? Or there wasn't a secret? What are you talking about? It's Bigfoot, dude. All right. We'll give folks about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to go. Danny, are you able to field this one?
I'll take a shot at it, but okay, I have there's 2 answers on here that's correct.
Is there?
But
really?
I will go with he was not of this earth.
Well, you're going to go with he's not of this earth?
Because he was an alien, but because he was built by the aliens, he was a robot.
Yeah.
But he also was malfunctioning and dying in an episode, so.
Yeah, that's true. So correct answer is he was not from Earth, but you're right. There were numerous episodes where work was being done on Bigfoot. So yes.
He was very ill in one and needed a replacement part or something.
Yep. Well, and even after the first big battle with Steve Austin, I believe he tore off his arm.
Yeah, well, that'll put a damper on you right there getting that arm ripped off.
Yep, getting your arm ripped off. Okay.
Yeah, that normally will ruin your day.
Again, if folks are paying attention, they will know the answer to this question. And Ian, I'll throw this one at you. Let's give him about 10 seconds.
You give it Ian an easy night tonight. I won't point that out.
I'm too kind, aren't I?
Look, this one's not easy for me.
Gift after gift, I give Ian. Merry Christmas early, Ian. What Gilligan's Island TV star was in the movie Return to Boggy Creek? The trailer we just saw. She wasn't in that trailer, by the way. Bob Denver, Don Wells, and I just gave you another hint. I let you. I really almost now you can whittle out 2 of them: Jim Backus, or Tina Louise.
Look, I have no idea.
Well, hold for a second. Do you want to phone a friend?
Yeah. Well, I want to pass the buck on to someone who knows.
Okay, why don't we pass it on down to Rob?
Because I have no idea.
Can do the next
obviously
one.
It's between 2 of them, so the 2 females. But I literally have no idea.
Okay, Rob, what's the answer?
Dawn Wells.
Correct. Mary Ann.
That was my second choice.
The amazing part is anybody that was in that movie ever got to work or act again.
Well, that was wasn't that pre-Different Strokes for Dana?
Yeah, way before. Yeah. You notice after this movie, it took her 10 years to get a job.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like the Garbage Pail Kids. If you were in that show, you never worked again.
Well, that was animated, wasn't it?
No,
it was live action.
Was it live action? Okay.
And the star of Garbage Pail Kids is Sean Astin's brother, Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings. And even having clout like that, couldn't get another real job. So yeah, I could see, being in Return to Boggy Creek, couldn't, you couldn't get another job after that.
Because it was the worst Bigfoot movie ever made.
Right.
All right. Let's do one more question, then we'll get scores. So this one's yours, Ian. What was the last name of the family that befriended Bigfoot in the movie from the late 80s?
Oh, goodness.
Was it Anderson, Brady, Henderson, or Peterson? And we'll give folks about 5 seconds. Someone said the questions were getting harder. I think they're getting easier.
This one is a softball, thrown my way. So I appreciate this, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Okay, I'm waiting for A few more answers in this chat. We're getting most of them here. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ian, what is the correct answer?
Henderson.
Area in the Hendersons, correct. Yep. Again, if you listen to the conversation earlier, you're going to know most of these answers. All right, let me see scores. Let's see. We got Tracy Rothmeyer's 6 of 6. Come on, folks, give me some scores. Ken Wilkinson, 6 of 6. I should have said super fan Tracy Rothmeyer's.
I just saw the best comment in the chat, and when he said Henderson, somebody asked you in chat, did they call Bigfoot Florence?
Did they call? What was it, Danny? I didn't catch that.
Somebody asked, did they call Bigfoot Florence?
Oh, Florence Henderson. That's funny. Yes. 5 of 6 for Superfan Superplex. J. Robert Segertson is 6 of 6. Superfan Elf Dog 100 is 6 of 6. Terrell Bellinger 5 of 6. Lamont Bradford 4 of 6. John Ogren 6 of 6. Superfan Jill Carter 6 of 6. It says I'm frozen. Hopefully I'm back. Nick Mamonis is 6 of 6. Dolph Quick 6 of 6. Steve Schwetman 6 of 6. Emily Miller 6 of 6. Todd McCreary 4 of 6. Let's see. Rich Atwood says, just to let you know, earlier Henderson's was not the real name of this movie. It was Peterson. I did not know that. Starsquake is 2 of 6. Tim the Enchanter's 4 of 6. Karen Lester is 4 of 6. The Superfan Lisa Fields 5 of 6. Mal Havoc is 6 of 6. Rob Aiken is 6 of 6. Rich Atwood is 5 of 6. Odd Bodkins is 6 of 6. Al Duarte is 6, 4, 6. Always start strong. I've got faith in you, my friend. Superfan Georgia Ayers is 4 of 6. Superfan James Mitchell 5 of 6. Superfan John Collins rocking it tonight 5 of 6. Chrominians 1 of 6, but missed the first 3, so you really aren't. You're 4 or 1 of 3, right? McGanahan Sky Jellyfetti is 2 of 3 so far, and yeah, Matt Sweeney says you're coming across a little loud. I think, Danny, you can we can pick you up, your voice up. You don't have to lean in. I think we can hear you just fine. Let's see. Hot mic is what we're hearing. Robot B9 is 6 of 6. Tim the Enchanter's 4 of 6. McCann Scott Jellyfetti says, Uncle Danny. Your family now, Danny. How's that? Oh, my goodness.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. Mr. 79 Man's 3 of 6. Chrominians 1 of 3. Let's keep moving. All right. Question 7. What was the name of the Saturday morning live action TV show with Bigfoot? Was it Bigfoot Battle Squad, Bigfoot and Friends, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, or Super Bigfoot? It's Danny's turn. So,
well, I think I'm going to have to go with Bigfoot and Wild Boy on that one.
All right. I'm gonna let, before I show the correct answer, I'm gonna let folks answer for a minute more. Let's see if they agree with you, Danny. You are a noted Bigfoot expert, and I think it would be foolish to go against your answer, but you never know. It could be Bigfoot Battle Squad. So I was quite proud of coming up with that name for a show. But the correct answer is Bigfoot and Wild Boy. So nicely done.
Should have called it Bigfoot Squid Game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love it. Let's see. Who are we up to next? It's going to be Ian, yours. Who originally played Bigfoot in the $6 Million Man? Was it Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Lou Ferrigno, or Randy Quaid?
Well, I don't know what is.
Well, hold off. Let's hold off. Let's give folks a chance to answer the question in the chat, because I think all of these guys, even Randy Quaid, could play a great Bigfoot. I think it's possible that all 4 of these candidates could deliver their very own special interpretation of Bigfoot.
Well, I only know the one who played him, but I'm being thrown off by the word originally. That means that kind of hints that there was somebody else who did it too.
That is correct. There were two actors on the show, the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman, that played Bigfoot over time. This actor only played Bigfoot the very first time. It was the two-part $6 Million Man episode.
Gosh.
And then after that, I will tell you, it went to the Ted Cassidy, the actor who played Lurch on the Addams Family.
Oh, well, then I know who this is then.
The other guy was a lot better.
You liked the original, Danny?
Oh yes, the original guy was much better.
Me too.
Well, it's Andre the Giant, right?
Correct.
Oh.
And a lot bigger than Ted Cassidy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you could I hate to let me butt in here, but you could actually tell in the series when he's fighting Andre the Giant how much huger and larger Andre is than when he's fighting Ted Cassidy in later shows, because Ted Cassidy didn't have the bulk and the mass that Andre the Giant did.
Right. He was while they may have been, I think he was, I'm not sure height-wise the difference. I think Andre was still a little bit bigger, but it was the bulk. He just didn't have the muscles that Andre the Giant had.
I never will forget my little sister. She loved TV, and my little sister had seen the Andre the Giant $6 Million Man episodes, and then they had the Ted Cassidy one, and she said, "What happened to Bigfoot? Did he get sick?"
Oh, that's too funny. He did look a little sicklier. Now, Ted Cassidy's great. Don't get me wrong. He was awesome as Lurch, and he was a phenomenal narrator at the beginning of The Incredible Hulk. Yes, that was Ted Cassidy narrating the intro to The Incredible Hulk. And part of the reason he got, I think, and maybe I'm just going off my own memory where I make crap up, but I believe Ted Cassidy auditioned to be The Incredible Hulk. Mm-hmm. And he did not get that role for a variety of reasons. He's tall enough, but not big enough. And one of their, they said, but we would love to have you be the narrator for the show. And so I might be wrong on that, but that's what I remember. Let's go to question number 9. Bigfoot and Wild Boy originated on what Saturday morning show? Was it HR Puffin Stuff? Was it the Croft Super Show? Was it Land of the Lost? Or was it the NBC Power Hour? Ian, this would be yours typically. How do you feel about answering this one? Or did you answer the last one?
No, I answered the last one.
Okay, so this is Rob. Rob, how do you feel about answering this one? And please hold before you answer it. Just tell me if you're ready. If you think you can answer this one.
I think I got this one. Yes, I think I got it.
Awesome. Okay, we'll give folks about 5 more seconds to lock it in their minds, and then we'll go ahead and do it. Yep. Count it down for us, sir.
The Croft Super Show.
Correct. Part of Captain Cool and the Kongs. I don't know if you remember Captain Cool and the Kongs.
He was Harvey Lembeck's son, the guy who was Otto von Zipper in all the old beach movies.
Yeah, Michael Lembeck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And he went on to be in some other things. I can't remember what, but
One Day at a Time.
Captain Cool. Oh, One Day at a Time. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, final question. This one will go to our resident Bigfoot expert, Danny, and then we'll look at final scores. What act? Oh, did I? Oh.
I think I know this one.
If you guys have all listened, lock in your answers real quick. What actor replaced Andre the Giant as Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man? Was it Chuck Connors, Lou Ferrigno, Richard Mall, or Ted Cassidy? I'm not giving you any more than 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds before we move on to letting Danny answer this question, since I just told it to everybody a minute or so ago. Go ahead and throw the answer in the chat or just lock it in your mind. And Danny, for the win.
It would be Ted Cassidy.
Ted Cassidy is correct. Also known as the sickly Bigfoot.
The sickly Bigfoot.
According to Danny's sister, the sickly Bigfoot.
Did poor Bigfoot get sick?
All right, let's look at scores here real quick. Folks, go ahead and put your final score in the chat. The Superplex, Superfan Superplex, 9 of 10. Emily Miller rocked it tonight, 9 of 10. Oh boy, that moved fast on me. Superfan Jill Carter's 10 of 10. Kenneth Wilkinson was 10 of 10. Rob Aiken, 10 of 10. Steve Schwetman, 10 of 10. Oh, this was far too easy, clearly. Terrell Bellinger was 9 of 10. John Ogren, 10 of 10. Rich Atwood was 8 of 10. Matt Sweeney was 10 of 10. McGanahan Sky Jelly Fetty was 4 of 7. Yeah. Dolph Quick says, Ted Cassidy, freebie. Thank you, Dave. Well, you're very welcome. I like to give gifts. Nick Mamonis is 10 of 10. Al Oduardi says, the first trivia I've ever aced here must be my lucky socks. Goodness gravy. Yes, indeed. There's the lucky socks. We can see them right there. Those are those Bigfoot socks, Al? Good gravy. Those look good. Superfan Elf Dog 100 says 10 of 10. Yeah, too easy. Tim the Enchanter 7 of 10. Superfan Lisa Fields 8 of 10. Mr. 79 Man got a strong 30%. Love it. Lamont Bradford 7 of 10. John Marshall was late but got 3 out of 5. Superfan Georgia Ayers was 8 of 10. Raja 1938 9 of 10. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyers, congratulations on your perfect score tonight. Dolph Quick 10 of 10. Karen Lester 7 of 10. Star Swake 5 of 10. Todd McCreary, thanks to me, yes. Todd McCreary 8 of 10. Mal Havoc 10 of 10. Odd Bodkins 10 or 9, no, 10 of 10, I think is what that is. Superfan John Collins, 9 of 10. All I had to do was watch your first video on the subject. Yes, if you watched my video that came out yesterday, that pretty much gave you all the answers. Let's see. Superfan Superflex, it should have been harder. I got to work harder on these things. Obviously, this one was an easier quiz tonight, folks. Thanks for bearing with me. Daryl Johnston, 10 of 10. Robot B9, 10 of 10. Aviation Dance Nerd, 4 of 10. Let's see. Where are the scores here? Superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says, thanks for the fun, Dave and all. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for the fun. It's great to have you all here. Looks like I got most of the scores, so we'll stop there. I'm going to go off this screen and go back to my guests here. I'd love to go around the horn real quick. And first off, let me just thank each one of you for joining me tonight. Truly appreciated. But, give you a chance to talk about what you're working on for your channels, what's going on. Give everybody a big update. We'll start with Thrash and we'll end with Dan.
Thank you. I've been having some great luck, of course, with my series on the top 10 worst dad jokes of all time. And tomorrow I have a special treat. It's going to be a theme. It's going to be a theme on sci-fi themed why did the chicken cross the road jokes. And you'd be surprised how many there are. And then I'll go back to my reviews of sci-fi and horror literature and film. Those are always fun. Again, I've been getting some great luck with both of those. I've been getting some great feedback from all of you folks who've decided to join my channel. And Dave, I want to thank you most of all for giving me this platform.
Always a pleasure. Great to have you with us, Rob. I really appreciate it. Ian, what are you working on these days?
I've got a video that we're filming tomorrow with the Flick Snacks and Knickknacks guy. We're going to be talking about cult classics for the podcast. I don't know as far as the shorter videos are concerned what I'm going to be doing, next. Just like the last one I did was 5 things you didn't know about Pac-Man. And I don't know. I might do like 5 things you didn't know about Perfect Strangers or something, or maybe another video game or a movie or something. Haven't decided. Last night was a lively discussion had with me Chris from Redbeard Videos and Pat McCormick from Golden Rage of TV, and that was a fun discussion. And of course, Thrash Pondo Pons was with us as well. And next Monday, I've got Robbie McPherson coming back on the program, and we're going to be talking about skateboards, big wheels, dirt bikes, and roller skates. How's that for growing up Generation X?
It sounds like it's going to be a scintillating conversation. Love Robbie and love her channel and her podcast that she has with what's her friend's name?
Amy.
Amy. That's right. They're just great. The Glitter Boom girls are great. When's that? When are you dropping the conversation with Pat and Redbeard?
Oh, it's already up.
It's already up. Great.
It did. Yeah, last night it was up, and it was obscure bands that should have got more love.
Okay, that'll be my listening as I drift off to La La Land tonight.
Right.
I'm gonna listen to that one. By the way, folks, for all of these creators, you will find links to their channels. I'm going to put them in. They're not there yet, but once I end this broadcast, I'll put links to all of their channels in the description field of this video so that you can go there and, for heaven's sake, subscribe. If you haven't already, I don't know how you can't, but these guys are just so good, but subscribe, please.
Yes, please
They
subscribe.
deserve it.
It would really mean a lot to all of us, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Danny, you're up. Tell us about what you got in store for us.
This Friday and Sunday, I'll be putting up videos where I investigate homeless people hearing strange creature sounds in the woods. And I did that investigation earlier this week, and it proved to be quite interesting. I actually saw something brown moving through the woods, but I don't know what it was. I feel like I got close, but no cigar.
I love it. So a lot of folks, maybe some of them know this, some of them don't. It seems like a lot of your work goes into the Daily Dan blog, but you got other channels. You want to talk about them real quick, Danny?
I don't usually talk about Danny's World. Anybody can check it out. It's got way too many subscribers, and it's a crappy channel. But I show little shorts, versions of videos that people send me, and people send me a lot of crap, and I put it up anyway. I know, but it's Bigfoot videos and cryptid videos and animal videos that people have sent me. The whole channel is just stuff people send in. But apparently people like that a lot. 34,000 subscribers this week.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and the channel I really love is the Daily Dan's The Good Stuff, which is the other side of the stuff Dave does, where Dave does the good stuff like Three's Company and Andy Griffith. You'll see stuff like the Night Stalker and Werewolf Show on my channel, because I do this stuff. Everything Dave don't do, I try to cover, which is everything gory and gruesome.
Well, I do love a little gory and gruesome. Phantasm's one of my favorite movies. Army of Darkness is another favorite. Anything Evil Dead related.
But you don't see much of that on your channel, Dave.
I mix it up. I mix it up quite a bit. You're right.
Somebody's got to cover these horror movies, and on that channel you'll see previews for every Bigfoot movie that ever existed.
Yeah, and
you can check me out on Saturdays once a month for a Sasquatch Saturday, where I cover all things Bigfoot in the entertainment world.
I love it. It's a fun channel as well. I'll post a link to all three channels, just in case folks want to check out other things that you're doing, because Danny's a very multifaceted guy. Yeah, sure, he's on the Daily Dan blog. He's searching for Bigfoot and he's reviewing comic books, but there's other stuff he's doing as well. And so it's good to get a little bit of insight on the other stuff he's doing as well. So great.
My one true love, I'm like you, my one true love is classic movies and classic TV.
Yeah.
I was thinking just a while ago, and I have to bring this up real quick. The Night Stalker is my favorite TV show of all time. Did anybody see the episode called Primal Scream that featured a Bigfoot?
No. I've seen it, but it's been a very, very long time since I've seen it.
The scientists bring a specimen back from the Arctic, and the specimen dethaws in a freezer and grows into a Sasquatch running around the sewers and killing people. And Kolchak has to deal with it.
What a wonderful...
One of my favorite episodes of all time, and had to be brought up on this show.
I'm glad you brought it up. Just anytime there's an opportunity to mention Kolchak the Night Stalker, the original version, it's worth mentioning because I loved those movies, and then the TV show was great. I didn't get a chance to always watch the TV show as a kid, but I have been able to go back and, courtesy of MeTV, go back and watch most of those episodes again. So thanks for sharing that.
Dave, you may not believe this from the bottom of my heart. To me, this is the biggest thing that's happened to me all year. This is a dream come true to be on with my favorite guys on the good stuff. Well, and the only thing that would be better if Pat McCormick was here because he's like the other Will.
Well, we'll get you on with Pat one of these days too, Danny, for sure.
And anytime you want me to come on and be part of the crew, I'm more than honored to do that.
Awesome. And you're welcome to come on anytime with us too, by the way, Danny. I mean,
it would be an honor. It would be an honor.
I always wanted to do another follow-up comic book episode. I think that would be awesome.
Well, I can talk about any kind of comic books you want to talk about. Believe me, I've got tons of comic books.
Okay.
Hey, so thanks to all of you. I wanted to say one thing real quick, and I've got a little Lawrence Welk saved for this guy. And if he's not here, he's not here. Hopefully he'll catch this on the replay. But every single week that I do a live stream, Kevin Connor does a super chat almost a day ahead of time. So no one ever sees it except for me. But he always does a super chat and always has a kind word or two to say. And I always forget to say thank you to Kevin because it's dropped off of the chat. No one sees it because he does it proactively ahead of time. But I wanted to say thank you to Kevin tonight. And so there's no better way than to go out of this live stream with me saying thank you to everyone for the engagement tonight. It's been great having you with us. And love the chat conversation. Can't wait to read it all later. But also a very special thank you to Kevin for just continually showing his support in kind of a very quiet and almost hidden way. So let me throw a little Lawrence Welk Kevin's way and tell him how much I appreciate his support.
Thumbs up, Alfred.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One more.
Hey folks, if you're enjoying this live stream, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up.
There we go. Final reminder, folks, give this live stream a thumbs up. You know what? If you haven't subscribed to my channel or any of these guys' channels, please do so. Comment on the live stream if you want. Love to respond to comments. All of that is just, it's icing on the cake for these live streams. All right, fellers. Any parting thoughts?
I think we should do a fundraiser and see how much money we can raise to persuade Dave not to play that Lawrence Welk no more.
Just get rid of it. Get it right off of my queue.
No, we gotta have it.
100% Pat, I had to put that in there.
Well,
he couldn't be here tonight, but his jokes can.
You are representing Pat tonight, so I appreciate that. Pat, truly, that's like literally he pulls out hair every time I play that darn Lawrence Welk.
I don't have to put it out. When you play it, it falls out on its own.
All right, folks. Hey, everyone, have a great night, and thanks again to one and all. We'll talk to you all later.
Okay.